So now with another demo called Pink Noise. You can remember that I played the demo, but now they updated like more extended. There is some parts that they extended to let players see more what's happening in that place. And these like I think it was horror, psychological horror, visual novel. It's a cool game, visual novel. I was like waiting, but the game never had a date. But it seems that it's to be released in summer, so we are there. And at the same time, we'll have a kickstart. So why? That's always a good thing. Like to try to help people to help to end making the game can be like that. So let's see how it is now in terms of the update for the game. Act 1, along shady valleys. Of course, I took out the dialogue volume because I prefer to be me reading to understand better the story. Fall comes to Riverwood with chilling winds and the first drizzle. A bleak mist obscures the narrow streets, clinging to the rooftops, tangling in the bush, and swirling around the fields. Fog and murky blackness sweep the peculiar suburb. Nestled amid the forests and mountains, it's a decaying, quiet place waiting for winter. As the evening wears on, the town is wrapped in the thickening twilight, with only a few street lights serving as solitary island of illumination in an ocean of darkness. On one such evening, ordinary and cold, 4 teenagers are strolling around an old park, engrossed in a lively discussion. The first fallen leaves rustle underfoot. As the wind reached the trees, their branches groan out a long, plaintive creak, as if already lamenting the loss of their mortal attire. Two of the teenagers, a tall boy and a fair-haired girl, walk hand in hand. Their friend carefully hops from one paved slab to the next, balancing as though a bottomless chasm might yawn open beneath them. A quiet stooping boy in a glass trails behind them, casting glance at the road. Ahead the street splits in two, then veers sharply out toward a wasteland. Just half cent before, a tiny school stood there. Now only a barely discernible foundation and heaps of broken bricks choked by stubborn vines remain to remind them of its erstwhile existence. Year by year, students have taken that path, carrying with them their thoughts and fears, high hopes and grand dreams. From tough exams and first crush to bullies bonked on the head, or simply yearnings to be the star player of a local team. Be it aglow in autumn gold, cloaked in vernal summer green, or blanketed beneath snowdrifts, Riverwood will never forget them, as they will never forget their town and its secrets. The older a place grows, the more mysteries it keeps locked away. One of the girls leaps into the distorted blur of light cast by an old street lamp. Ain't gonna catch me. Eva wipes shadow webs of her cardigan. Cardigan gossamer threads only she can perceive. She glances at the overgrown bush, which have long since forgotten the tender care of gardening shears. No show time tonight, besties. The other girl scoffs at her friend's silly gestures. If Brian was agile as you, we wouldn't have been stuck in school after dark. The chemistry room's never been so tidy. She raises her fingers to demonstrate her palms red and wrinkled from the hot water. It's not my fault, Mr. Obstone didn't save enough teeth to avoid spitting and lisping. Besides, she should explain it better. The bottom must be left open. Actually, she explains just fine, but you still put 3 chlorine tablets in the rubbing alcohol instead of 1. Surprise, surprise, the reaction was extreme. Yeah, that bang was something else. My left ear still ringing. Eva stops hovering in a faint hall of light and notch. She's never been reprimanded at school before today. Sure, she would have been way more upset if it hadn't been Brian's fault, but still. It's just another adventure, something her and her friends will laugh about one day, and a happy memory is worth more than any reprimand, especially when her parents will probably forget it by tomorrow. Alright. He raised his hand apologetically. Next time we team up, I won't let you down. I'll put you in 2 chlorine tablets. Dugu pass a row of owls as dissimilar to one as another as if ever possible in a suburb. The time-worn owl's window glowed faintly in sepia tones as though the light itself has aged and can no longer disperse the deepening darkness. The building they pass seems to contending for the greatest neglect. Every other resident would consider an eccentric in any other town. For instance, Greyborn has leaned on rusty mower on his front soup instead of a cane for 2 decades. The abandoned duplex across the road still bears the scars of a long-forgotten fire. Its windows are boarded up, even during the day it has a miserable look. The teens keep their distance. Oh, Miss Harvest House. The gloomy old lady had knitted yet another pear-shaped cat proudly displayed it on the terrace, thus expanding her ugly army. Right, you had a cup of tea together. Did baby Tony apologize? Once Eva brother fletched one of the cats and take it home, neither of their parents are culinarily attached to it, so she had to explain herself that taking other people's belongings without permission was wrong. No, I was the one to apologize. Miss Service didn't say a word. She only gave us a cold stare and sniffed loudly. She scared poor Tony so much that he couldn't fall asleep for half a night. You have such a giving heart when it comes to your brother. You might be raising a Helluva knight. Why in the world would you want to snatch a cat though? He was just a little kid. He came, he saw, he took it home. There's no need to tell her friend that Tony had intended to give Eva the cat. He knew she wanted the pet more than anything in the world. He thought he could cheer her up with at least a toy one. He'll never take anything that didn't belong to him before, not out of fear of getting caught or punished. He simply found stealing shameful. Tony will sooner give away his breakfast than steal something from someone weaker than him. No doubt that kind of attitude will make school harder for him, but such is his nature. Contemplating her brother's heart of gold, Eva smiled softly. Yes, look at those cats. They pass by Miss Sarah's terrace, closely eyeing her odd dolls. Twilight makes the cat's silhouettes look eerie. Their pearl button eyes glimmer in the fading light as if they know secrets that have been buried too long. If I go crazy one day, I'm definitely by a nice crib close to the park. The neighbors here match me perfectly. Yeah, I can stand this street. It's like it's lost in time and space. How about we head through the square? No one protests, so she leads them onward, sweeping into the nearest alley. A gust of wind bursts through the narrow walkway, permeating the air with the stench of raw wooden planks and rotten garbage. The houses now look like they have been copy and paste. They were likely being built at the same time to house factory workers. The only thing that is different is the light in the windows, on or off, making it clear whose shift it is tonight. 2 Christmas before Brian got beaten up here, some high school students apparently didn't appreciate his sharp tongue. They all shoved him into the snowbank and packed snow under his sweater, but the most humiliating part was a neighbor kicking them all out. She came out to the doorstep with one of Brian's classmates, a cute but overly chatty girl. But the very next day, those school had heard the story about him shaking snow out of his pants and whimpering like a puppy. You would have preferred being rolled into a giant snowman and left there like that till spring. Brian adjusts a pack full of baseball equipment, which has crawled down his shoulder, and walks up to Ashley. I'm so fed up with this stupid school. All this is homework tests. But the year just started. It all makes me wanna study even less. There is nothing worse than coming back to school after summer. He jumps over a puddle and takes Ashley's hands. It's like wearing old trainers you already grown out of. I can't wait for college. When I start working, I'll buy real catcher gear, or at least a better glove. His palms still hurt from Friday practice session. The equipment donated to their team left much to be desired. Better buy a slugger straight away. It will pay off much sooner. Best case scenario, you can be a bouncer at a bar. Ashley laughs at his childish. Brian does not get complex of the world at all. Dad says a good job like his is hard to find without higher education. Ashley grabs her Leo Zodiac pendant. It's a nervous sound, something she does whenever she says something important. It calms her. College is just another place to study. This world's too cruel. Illness, starvation, school. I like school though. Michael tries to squeeze into the conversation all along he's been trailing behind the others, glancing suspiciously at parked pickups as if they might bite. He hasn't kept up with his friends as he notes two silhouettes in an old Ford. One female, one male. The mutilated face stared back at him. He could have sworn he heard a hoarse, gurgling whisper. Then a light that flashed over one of the doorsteps, dispelling the blackness. Suddenly both seats were empty again, and stage vision turned into nothing but a local floor mill uniform hanging from a grab handle. Michael wipes the sweat off his forehead and listens carefully to his friends. Of course I love school too, if I had your scores, Mikey. Exactly. Agreeing, Brian quickly squeezed Ashley's hand. Maybe I should wear glasses too, sounds like homework doesn't look so boring through them. They walk by the Murdoch's front garden and onto the street flooded with pink and blue neon store signs. You'll better stop complaining. You only have 3 years of school left. Just imagine life's gonna be completely different afterward. We might even lose touch. To Eva, the idea of moving away feels like teleport to a new familiar planet. So many new people, places, and interesting stories. She hasn't even fully explored Hivory yet. In her mind, the town's old house and old residents still harbor so many secrets, enigmatic and dark. In comparison, some unknown huge city feels like a bottomless well, impossible to fully drain even if you had 100 years. In a future like that, it will be hard to make time for anything from the past, but she doesn't plan to forget her loved ones forever. If friendship's real, distance means nothing. My dad calls his friends from other states every single day. She's tempted to add they mainly have business conversation and argue often, but they don't need to know that. In her mind, her parents are role models everyone should strive to imitate, not just her and her brother. There is a single family in the entire town happier or more close-knit than Ashley's, and that's nothing but the truth. Well, a couple cornfields and state borders ain't enough to break you up. What the hell do Ashley's that your love and cornfields have in common? Look around. Eva stops and points towards the house swaying in the darkness. Is anything really happening up here? Crunk Jim driving a tractor into a ravine was practically the only breaking news here in 6 months. Well, adulthood is a real challenge. People grow up, then they start to feel sorry that time flew by so fast and they want to experience school life again. She paused, searching for the right words, quoting someone else in one thing, but will she soon regret those bygone days herself? After all, Eva already recalls her early childhood with nostalgic warmth. Back then, every little thing felt like it was brimming with wonder. Now a doll is no longer a sorcerer's princess or a travel from a faraway world. A toy soul is just a piece of plastic and a blanket no longer. Making stories up for others is simple, but how are you supposed to fix yourself? Maybe the older you get, the duller and more colorless the world becomes. It's like going back to a fairy tale you weren't grateful enough for earlier. They're just nice words, nothing more. Bring adults back to textbooks and they will howl all day. I don't remember any fairy tales where the characters were forced to read Walt Whitman's poetry. What about you, Michael? Me neither. The friends stroll from one store to the next, looking at the flickering signs. Up close, they no longer seem bright and cheerful. They look rather ramshackle and out of place in dilapidated suburb. Let's go home, okay? Dad's on shift today, but if he comes back to grab a bite to eat, I ain't there. Brian scratches his neck and sticks out his tongue. Ashley laughs and punches him in the shoulder. Michael, trailing behind everyone, suddenly stops and looks at the sign that still sparkles as brightly and cheerful as the day it was hung. The arcade is open. I doubt there is anyone this late. We can play Street Fight. Usually calm and quiet, he now blossoms. Behind his thick glass, his eyes shine with passion. Totally! No stupid helpers, suckers, or high school jerks. The boys lean against the dusty window, as happy as if they are meeting their idols. The girls only snort in irritation. What? Suddenly you are not gonna run back to your crib to avoid Daddy's shellacking? I'll risk it. There's always a chance Dad will kick you in the head. But the chance to throw a Dukens and not wait in freaking line for the game? Now that's rare. It takes so many little to make them happy, doesn't it? Ashley glanced at her friend. Let them play. By the way, did you hear about the arcade machine that appears in the hall by itself? Ashley rolls her eyes. Eva fantasies and reality have little in common. Her friend refused to grow up. In her world, even a tattered old shoe might open its jaws and spin some ridiculous yarn, and that's exactly why Ashley adores Eva. She is so incredibly different from Ashley's overly rational parents, and from Ashley too. With her, getting bored is an impossible mission. Even if they were both locked in an empty basement, Eva will still manage to discover something fascinating there. She'll pull Ashley in and get her into trouble again. They'll giggle about it later. But Eva doesn't need to know that. It isn't like anyone can stop her anyway. You start playing and can stop, the game never ends, it's impossible, but you try and over again, forget about eating or even going to the bathroom. Over and over again, not thinking of your parents or friends, over and over again, until you run out of your allowance, can't afford breakfast and stay angry for the rest of the week cause you are dumb. Michael peels away from the glass and adjusts his lopsided glass. Well, that doesn't sound so scary if you got no allowance to begin with. Wanna go in or what? Gosh, they are looking at us like dogs staring at a steak. Ashley waves her hand authoritatively. It creeps to go home when it's so dark out, but if you win 100 tickets, me and Eva are gonna pick a prize. Yes, actually, it's high time for games. It's high time for games. The spacious room is somehow stuffy, permeated with stench of hot plastic successfully covered up by a pungent berry air freshener. Smells like wasted time. As if this shack smells nothing like school. The clamor of screensavers and demo Altruge melts into a terrible cacophony. No wonder the zoned out cashier is shielding himself from it with a set of greasy, cushioned headphones. The walls are plastered with posters, promotional flyers and all sorts of paper trash. Whoever one had stands out. If you beat the record, you can win tickets and exchange them for prize. Such generosity was easily explained. With the start of the school year, kids have a bit more cash in their pockets than usual. There's no one inside except the cashier, yet the floor is peppered with trash from crumpled soda cans to chocolate bar wrappers. The arcade closes in 40 minutes, local kids can only hang out here at this hour in the summer. The hall is packed with all sorts of arcade machines, each game name glowing inviting. Clips of characters that deliberately failing to beat different levels flash on the screen over and over. The boys start searching for the most interesting game. So now you can choose. I don't remember is how to save. Unavailable that. Okay, save. Go to the game. So you have Donkey Kong, Street Fight in here. I don't know what is this. Donkey Kong, an arcade golden oldie. The game machine is ancient and in poor condition. The sign barely even flickers anymore. One of the buttons is cracked. Galaga. This was also one of the most famous games. Now this veteran arcade cabinet is used only while the others are busy or when a couple of truly insane nerds try and fail to break the record of someone named Lily the Rat once or twice a month. Street Fighter, the best game the hall has ever seen. Ryu and Ken are frozen on the signboard, ready to jump each other. The floor around the arcade machine is brightly polished, worn down by student sneakers. It's over here! The boy runs towards the machine. It hasn't been wrecked the way some of its time-worn neighbors have. Even so, the buttons are plastic casing, bear scuffs, cracks and grubby marks left by countless kids' hands. Worst of all, instead of some thrilling music, the machine is emitting only a hoary wheeze, like an old man struggling to clear his throat and instead pushing a death rattle out of his rusty lungs. A piece of cardboard with a blood-curdling inscription is stuck to the screen. Temporarily out of order. No cashier cannot fix. God, where is your justice? Who's the god of computer nerds? The monkey hold the barrel? Brian grumbles something in response and Michael just shrugs. A technician coming, but not till at least next Tuesday, so y'all need to choose some other game. Try Road Blasters, it's the freshest here. The cashier points at the brand new arcade game, displaying a car blowing up and drawing in a furry, pixelated cloud. Dang it! Michael's voice trembles, he seldom lets himself betray such emotion, but Brian has his back. What else have you got, other than cars? All that in a bag of chips. If you rank the top 5 of Pumpkin Man, I'll give you a double prize. He nods towards the counter. Alright, no one really plays this trash. We got a real shot at setting a record. Ah, the cat! We see the cat, I like this cat. I remember the cat. A grey cat lying on the chair next to another machine captures the girl's attention. 4 letters shine on her pink collar. Lucy. So sweet. Pet. We can pet the cat. The cat flattens her ears and grumbles. I bet you $5 she doesn't remember how clean hands with no cheese ball dust on them feel. She kinda looks like the cat mom was trying to paint last month. Let me guess, the cat in the painting had mandibles and a pair of tentacles? Ugh, I wish. She was just in the background. Mom paints people, you know how it is. Actually no, she wished she didn't, though. Those paintings are why she prefers inviting Eva over rather than visiting her. Well, one of the reasons anyway. Dale had a slumber part at Eva's place twice, both nights. Ashley had been plagued by nightmares. The root cause was a few masterpieces Eva's mom considered her favorites. Compared to those monstrosities, plain old horror movies were practically bright, cheery cartoons. Meanwhile, the boys approached the coin-operated pumpkin man machine. Instead of usual Mr. or Mrs. Pac-Man, a bright orange pumpkin is flying around tough levels, eating licorice candies. The display sears their eyes with poisonous shades as a bunch of colorful blots chase the voracious pumpkin. What you think? Are these ghosts? Michael peers at the sign. Here's a hunter shooting the pumpkin with a shotgun. They are restless hunter souls then. Awesome, let them catch the pumpkin. Then everyone's happy. The hunters are safe in their graves and we are home. Brian draws a handful of coins from his pocket and inserts them. The coin clatters through the machine's metal innards and settles in its stomach. The maze dissolves into pixels and rearranges itself into first level. Its corridors are speckled with candies and the ghost begins darting around their cage. Back home, with no price, ain't leaving till we empty out that price counter. Because instead of being the Pac-Man, it isn't. The cashier shudders at thoughts. We close in half an hour. Brian winks at Michael. Then he's gonna have 50 minutes left over to cry over his empty counter. Yes, it's time to play. Press any key. Oh, I forgot who we are. Now we can eat. Ah, I miss it. Come on. Are mine. Nice. Look at those co-ops. Best player in Pac-Man in the world. You didn't know that, but now I say it. Never play Pac-Man, that's why I'm the best. That we collect these, they come to us. This is the trick, heard from the professional. Look at this. And now I don't have nothing else to pick up, because I fucked it up. Now we just run. No! We need to trick them. Oh! Damn it. I need to call them. See. They come. Look at that. I remember on the demo first, right? The developer said that it's not possible to get the best price. But I don't know if now you can or not. Because there was a good price to get, but you couldn't. Because it was like very expensive, you needed to gain a lot of points. And it was impossible. Oh, I could hit them in there. Because they were all blue. Like this. Trying to do some tricks in here. Ah! No! That motherfucker appeared in there. God damn it. One thing in there. That's it, give me tickets, you stupid slab of iron. The car released 50 tickets that could be exchanged for an interesting item. Although they will like to keep playing a bit longer, they run out of spare change and Brian will never ever borrow money from a girl. Michael feels a bit awkward since he's never had any pocket money at all, but the friend's slap on the back snaps him out of his thoughts. Good job, Michael. You built like a beast. You too did a lot better on this than is in chemistry class today. Not sure I could complete the level where there were more ghosts than candies. Brian looks around with self-satisfied smile, but to his disappointment the girls aren't there to celebrate his triumph. They're just emerging from the bathroom, discussing something. You missed something amazing. Did you land a space shuttle? No? Then I don't see any reason for such delirious joy. Brian points at the tickets Michael's holding. Nah, what we did is way cooler than any shuttle. Let's go, high time we picked a prize. The cash isn't around, the whole movement in the whole arcade is a decorative bamboo curtain slowly sway behind the counter. The cashier's headphones are still lying on the lower part of the counter and a lonesome sausage is rolling around in a jar. All of a sudden the hall seems empty. Where did he go? Don't know. Brian carefully approaches the counter and raps onto the table with his knuckles. They hear shambling behind the bamboo curtain. Someone exhales loudly and they all freeze. The game machine starts beeping incessantly. The signboard light dim as devouring darkness creeps into the hall. Eva impatiently examines the counter, the price and the posters stacked up one atop of another. Then she shouts, "Hello? Anybody here?" No reply. Alright, let's bounce. I don't want to wait for this freak. Takashi takes off his mask and bursts into laughter. Yes, you'll see your face. We didn't even gasp. What a boring prank. Takashi grimaces as thought he's taken a swig of lemon juice. Ugh, critics. Pick a prize. I see you all got plenty of tickets. So we have the Game Boy. Nintendo Game Boy, 10,000 winning tickets. The best prize ever. The boy's wildest dream. I wonder how long we'll have to play to win this many tickets. We have these, that Slinky, 20 winning tickets, the red Slinky. We have these, the 1986 Top Tubes baseball card set. Hoping to sell them at a profit later, even if they aren't interesting sports. My personal collection is only missing the 86 and 84, you'll love these. The Rubik Cube! Yes! Magic 8 Ball. So this... there we go. This one says unavailable. You can't. You can. This is nothing. Unavailable. You can't pick up this because this one thing that I don't know is the Game Boy. I don't know if the one developer say that there were some that you couldn't pick up, right? this shoe, you can't. These are unavailable for the demo. But the Game Boy, as you can see, you can't select. And this one you can to pick. I don't know if it's possible to buy the Game Boy, but you need to you need to play a lot of that machine. Like you need to be good at it, like kill those things, pick up all those two. So you need to pass a lot of time at doing a lot of tries. But I don't know if it's possible or not. But I know this one you can't. You can only this shoe. Because this one something will happen, but I think he said that it's only on the full game. The Game Boy, I don't know. That's the issue. So in here you can only buy this and this you can't. You can only pick up this. But I think the if you could pick up the Game Boy, I think you'll say unavailable. Is what I think it will say. It's unavailable. You can only pick up this. Is what they want you to let, because it's a demo. They don't want to spoil everything. And the award for the best game of the night goes to Michael. What do you say? You want a Rubik's Cube? Looks fly. Never seen one like this before. Michael nods shyly. He's not used to get anything right on the first try. He isn't thrilled about the prize, but Brian could have simply chosen the Magic 8 Ball for his girlfriend or the Slinky for Eva. He's known them way longer, but no, he shows Michael. He's on cloud 9. People are finally noticing him. Girls, you don't mind, do you? Always to the world, Eva is just staring at the leather face mask stretched over a jar of sheep marinated sausage. The mask is made of leatherette, not latex or silicone. It looked so realistic. Of course, up close it isn't as menacing as in the movie, but the unknown artisan clearly put immense effort into it. Eva watched the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 times. The family dinner is her favorite horror scene. She wants to ask the cashier where he got that mask so she can buy one for Halloween. There is nothing, Ashley. There is nothing else to choose between. I took a look at the 8 ball box. It was surely fake. I got very few answers. Modern ones are way cooler and more interesting. Take it, Mike, and let's get out of here. The cashier collects the tickets and tosses the cube to Michael, who beams. Let me give you all something for the rest of the tickets. He takes a cassette from the shelf and taps on it. No one knows what's recorded on here. I just found it in the hall once. Brian glanced at his friends. Michael twists the cube with rapt attention, paying the cashier no notice. You mean you are just gonna give us somebody cassette instead of a real prize? But Eva finished examining the mask, swiftly snatched up the prize and stows it in her bag. Booyah! Extra profit! Brian grimaces as the cashier tucks the tickets into his wallet. Most likely no extra price ever even exists, and the cashier just pounding some junk off on them to pocket their tickets. Chances are he's pulled that trick before. Who knows, next time he might try handling out his socks or some dusty old Tiger Electronics handheld. I think we got screwed. It's a strange mysterious cassette, isn't that enough? As if teasing them, the light from arcade machines gleams direct on the coveted Game Boy. No, it's not. They head toward the exit. Who doesn't remember a Game Boy? Act 3, a bad sign. Because don't forget, this is on old times, this is not recent times. You need to remember that. There is no PlayStation, nothing like that. It was a Game Boy, arcade machines. So most of the signs are already off, submerging the thickest basements are always in darkness. It splashed out onto the square, engulfing it in blackness. Only a few pickups and locked bicycles are still around, all parked by Marshall Sue's bar. The wind sweeps over the fields. The element that usually toys with harvest corn now mourns forlornly, plunging the suburb into melancholy. The winter will change everything. Stores and bars will be strung with sparkling beads of colorful lights, and the snow will smooth with the wrinkles and scars of old Riverwood. The town will take on its deception, pretty and cozy facade. As a kid, Michael loved strolling around there during Christmas vacation, munching on hot pies and watching snowflakes fall through the thick windows of a coffee shop. Back then he never noticed the aging buildings, chipped concrete, or the gloomy people trying to fake a smile. And now, however, the suburb's flaws stand out more sharply. It looks welcoming, grey, lifeless. No one ever calls it the city of ghosts. Just thinking of it gives him the creeps. Well, we are late. Granny and Grandpa will be upset. If that's the worst that will happen, they may as well stay out a little later. Come on, Mike. How about that Rubik's Cube? Show us what you got. You should see him. A hell pumpkin master. Michael humbly takes out his toy and twists a few of the layers. But watching the cover squares slowly light up is boring as hell. Everyone knows it, even Michael. Nice. What else are we gonna waste our time on? How about pouring water from the school fountain into the river? Eva pulls out the cassette and waves it at her friends. Now here's something worth our time. What you think? Is it gonna be a movie or a cartoon? Disappointed in the Rubik's Cube, Brian glances at their extra pies. I really hope it's worthwhile. Maybe some maniac caught himself abusing his victims and can't wait to make it public. It reeks. Nobody knows why Eva sniffed the cassette. She hands it to Ashley, who also grimaces at stench. Bry sniffs it too. Oddly, instead of old plastic, it stinks of lake silt, acid rust, stagnant water, waxed leather coated in sweat. The others mix together in the most unimaginable way, yet each is still distinct. That's weird. That's what I'm talking about. We got to see what's... Suddenly Michael shrieks and swears. The friends spin to face him. Michael shakes his finger and sticks it to his mouth. He grips the cube as if he's about to throw it away, but forces himself not to. Ashley glances at the bewildered friends. They look just as lost as she is. Unless that cube made of sugar, that's totally weird. Even weirder than that nasty cassette. What happened, Mike? The boy puts the cube in his pocket and forces a smile. His face is covered in sweat and his eyes dance about anxiety. It's all good, just pinch my finger. Must have turned a layer the wrong way. It hurts, but Mike doesn't want to look weak in front of his friends, and he certainly doesn't want to scare them. The whole thing felt strange, pointless. Mark my words, an arcade that's never bothered to repair Street Fighter doesn't know what fun is. No wonder their prices are junk. How about we just throw it under Abraham's truck? Just imagine the piece flying apart. Abraham drives a massive tanker truck shipping milk across town. Before that, he spent years as a driver from a local flour mill. This old red truck is already a town legend. You can hear its roars all the way from the other side of the road. Well, that will be incredible. Steven Spielberg gonna shoot a movie about it one day for sure. Ugh, today was crazy, waste of time. Let's just go home. Nobody disagrees, so they head to town newest district. There isn't much junk lying around here as there is in the park. The residents in this area are relatively wealthy. Ashley's house is the first place on their way back. The friends stop by her family's decorative fence. Michaels likes it here. The house feels alive, bright, full of energy. Not that he and his grandparents live in a junkyard, but their place is old, engulfed in greenery, and quiet. All things always stay right in their place, and new ones are rare. If the TV still works, there is no need to replace it. If the couch isn't falling apart, why get rid of it? It could last through at least one more generation of kids. The only new thing his grandfather has bought lately is a car, but well, that was for a special reason. Michael's life is quiet, like a little mouse buried in the books and magazines. In that sense, Ashley is in complete opposite, just like their house. An old single-story building versus the giant mansion that takes up half its plot. Ash, you have an old VHS player in your shed, don't you? Yeah, why, do you wanna watch the cassette? Well, it could make our evening a little better, but don't our boys gotta get home? Instead of rushing, Brian jumps over the fence and waits for his friends to follow. Michael? Michael nods and quick catch-ups with Brian. Brian looks excited, like he's about to embark on the best adventure of his life. Grinning from ear to ear, he turns to Michael. Did you solve the cube? No, I'll try again tomorrow. Let's check out that tape. He should have started doing his homework long ago instead of wandering through the streets. By now his grandmother might be about to call the police and demand a search party for her grandson, but he hardly wants to go home. Michael stares pensively at his finger, blood still oozing out of the wound. The nail and the flesh are being cut with a sharp edge. The worst part is the feeling of the cube growing right inside his pocket. The cube that pinched his finger hard. The cube covered in bloody fingerprints. The cube that had suddenly been etched with inscription invisible to anyone but him. 4 carved out letters. Your... and then carved with disappearing as if it never had been there. Come on, let's go check what kind of courting we got. Oh, I pressed like that, I couldn't see. What's there? Act 4, a comfy place. So I can see certain things that they add. And that's always good because certain times you were like, okay, didn't explain a lot, but now adding this it explains better more things to the story. As far as the friends are concerned, Ashley's Shed is the best and coziest place in the whole suburb. They spend most of their evenings there in the winter when there is nowhere else to hang out and the high risk of being targeted by the high schoolers' snowballs. There's plenty of space for board games and fooling around. They can be as loud as they like, and Ashley can always bring them snacks or soda from home. Her father originally planned to turn the place into a man cave, complete with a couch and a big TV, but he's been overwhelmed with work lately, so most of the time the friends are free to use the shed. But that day, they aren't alone. Chris, Ashley's older brother, is already inside lying on a shabby carpet and playing a new Sega Genesis. Only as they enter those, Ashley remembers that Chris is grounded for coming home drunk from a party. He isn't allowed to see his friend for a month, but some of his buddies must have lent him the gaming console so he won't get too bored at home alone. As the front door squeaks open, he safely hides a red pack of Marlboros under a pillow. Phew, it's just you suckers. I thought Dad showed up and I was about to teach me how to live again. What are you doing up here? Baby Ashley decided to show you our true family treasures. The shed is filled with dated furniture living out its last days and unused equipment covered in dust, plus other miscellaneous items that family are too lazy to get rid of. Ashley family is rich enough that they don't need to sell all their old junk, so a lot of it has been stuffed into the sheds. An archaic Atari Pong console. Ashley father played it as a teenager, but the only controller broke long ago, so did the console itself. The funny scarecrow from the Bennett's field. Ashley asked Chris to steal it after the Bennett's youngest daughter lost her doll. It was hard to believe, but Eva swore the scarecrow had moved on its own. Who doesn't remember that? Chris battered a bunch bag. Some must have thrown hatchets and darts at it. Anna took mirror, little Asha loved looking it and imagined she was a Disney princess. Eva would barely even glance at the mirror. She was 110% convinced that Bloody Mary would come out if she wasn't careful. That's good. Bloody Mary. Dual motorcycle about 3 years ago before Ashley and Brian started dating. Brian saddled it up and drove into the creek. Ashley burst into laugh and Brian was barred for visiting Ashley's house. It seems that the ban hasn't been lifted. Chris retrieves the Marlboro and pulls a cigarette out of with his teeth. Brian notes the trick so he can try it later. It looks thrilling. He doubts his attempt will look as natural as Chris did, but it's worth a little practice. What if he managed to impress the high schoolers or the guys from the neighboring town's baseball team? Taunting opponents and getting on their nerves is a time-honored tradition. Brian imagined himself strolling past them, deftly pulling out a cigarette, then smirking and asking why they sent a team of sissies to the game. Don't you have to stay in your room and feign remorse? And what about you? Shouldn't you be catching Z's, not wandering around in the dark, or you wanna see who can disappoint our parents the most? He exhales a ring of blue smoke. The winner is clear. No, unlike you, I care about my future. We just want to watch a cassette. Why don't you just do something else for a bit? We need TV. As if. Get out of here, kids. He turns to the TV and keeps playing. To deceive Chris, to persuade Chris. So you can only choose one, because you could persuade, but to deceive you can only do that. But Ashley is going to back down. Her brother is as simple and predictable as an old penny. She won't even break a sweat fooling him. All you really need to know is whose opinion matters more to him than his own. whose personal business he cares about more than the video games. What's he afraid of missing out on? What will make him jealous? Ashley eyes narrow slightly at Chris. I'll trade TV for some intel, bro. Go on. You're still staring at the screen through the smoke cloud, frantically clicking the controls buttons. Wisdom on your cronish out there. Sam and Bobby, right? They were asking if you are still grounded. They were pretty upset that you couldn't keep them company. Chris froze his sister wearing guns. Sam and Bobby are real douchebags. Rumors of their wicked deeds are always flying around town. Also, you know Chris is afraid of them, but he'll still do anything to get into the gang. He's constantly smoozing them with free drinks and cigarettes. You really think I'm gonna fall for that bull? It's true. I saw them near the old water tower. They were going to steal Pam's motorcycle and ride it to the flour mill. Chris jumps up, nearly burning his fingers on the cigarette. Why the hell were they going there? Chris knows his sister can make up any nonsense on the spot if she wants to take advantage of Sophie, but Eva he trusts. She's a good girl. He doubts she'll lie. You can see right through his little sister. Ashley thinks she's a master manipulator, but her expression is dead giveaway when she's lying. But Eva is different. They've known each other forever, and she never lies so bluntly. Unless, of course, it comes to stories about the ghosts that haunt the old school, or the mysterious drowned man the girls totally met at the lake that one day. Grandpa says truck drivers sometimes sneak bourbon into the factory in gas cans and sell it to the night shift workers. Best bourbon in the state, that's what he says. I bet they weren't going to buy it. They were gonna steal it. Ha, that will be fun. He yanks his sneakers on and rushes to the front door. Before he leaves, he glances over his shoulder and sneers. Watch out for eyes. If you're just try teaching me, your ass gonna be in my punchy bag next time. Eva, you don't count. Chris disappears into the night and Michael wipes the cold sweat from his forehead. Is it gonna punch me? Easy? Easy, guys? It's just Ashley's brother, not some damn high schooler who likes robbing the kids. Ashley doesn't really agree. Chris had changed lately. He used to play sports. He's never smoked or fought complete idiots before. Their parents were proud of his medals and trophies. Their dad claimed any college will accept Chris on an athletic scholarship if he couldn't make it academically. And I'll see at the college he'll straighten out. But there's nothing left to straighten out anymore. Nobody offers scholarships for partying or hanging around bad company. Chris' boxing gloves are already gathering dust under his bed. His empty shelves and hooks aren't expecting any new awards anytime soon. Let's just start, okay? She glanced at the moon. The cassette is not the only reason she wants to hurry up. Turn it on, Brian. Brian changed the TV to AV mode and sliced the cassette into the VHS player. Static noise danced on the screen, curved and covered in dust. Speakers let out a soft hiss followed by a squeak. Hope the tape is not blank. Otherwise, Michael's gonna beat up for no reason. Michael shivers and glances around as if Chris might already be creeping up on him. His fist raised to strike. It can't be blank. Hurry up and take your seats. We don't wanna miss anything. Eva settles down against one of the pillows and her friends follow suit. The TV continues flicking, disrupting the piece of shed. The wind sweeps out of fields and descends on the suburb, sneaking through the streets like a wild animal prowling for prey. It shoves the shed, making its way and creak like a popping joint. The early lamp flickers, casting shadow on the piles of garbage in the corners. Is there any other light here? As if to answer Michael's question, a picture begins to form on the screen. The black and grey static stripes morph into an image, taking on colors and shape. One part becomes studio walls, another area is changed into the great set of a Friday night show. The rest turn into a body of a game show host wearing a striped sweat jacket. The host is half-turned and staring at the camera as if waiting for a director signal to start or trying to see the audience on the other side of the screen. At least he is not a maniac. Don't speak too soon. An invisible orchestra bursts into a music of so cacophonous that the players should have been whipped for their miserable performance and never allowed to lay hands on instrument again. Haha, welcome to the show, everybody. And there you go, it ends like that. Because you complete the demo version of Pink Noise, as you might guess, the full game offers you a great variety of choice. So all the plot twists will be up to you. We are grateful for your interest in our project and for our time spent playing. Don't forget to subscribe. So it's like, as you can see, they don't want to spoil, right? They don't want to spoil what's gonna be the part of like horror, right, like that. But you can see what's gonna be, because when I played the first demo, because it's an updated demo, I immediately saw the story seems interesting because of what it's gonna be. The art style is fucking amazing, like it moves sometimes, it's very very cool, the artwork. It's one thing that visual novel needs always, is a cool artwork. And of course it's slow, like slow to start, to reach to the point where the story will start, but that's normal of visual novels because they need to explain who it is, how their lives are. So but this game promises a lot. But the problem is, when it's gonna be released, summer, can be summer, like, okay, that will be cool, but sometimes things happen in life, right, and they need to delay. I don't know how many people work on the game too, but maybe can be close to be released. But they're gonna have a kickstart that maybe is to help to finish the game, or for other things too. So like you can always go check on their Kickstart. I don't know if it's already up or not, the Kickstart, but they, at least I know they're gonna have one. So it's always good to see in there. Like if you like visual novels, I will recommend this game. Like you can wish lists and download the demo, it's available, and play it. You're gonna enjoy it. And if you like horror, you're gonna enjoy it too. But if you like both together, this is gonna be a good game to pay attention, because the choice, the artwork to see, and the story that will happen, and to understand who is that guy on the cassette, like can be very very. For now, I like it. I have on my wish list. I was after like passing certain months, I'll always check to see if I had a date, right? Because you never know. But still nothing. But can come this year or next year. It depends. So again, if you want to give it a shot, I'll recommend to give it a shot to the demo. You're gonna enjoy it, and if you like it, wishlist the game, because it helps the developers and the game to get more visibility on Steam. So hope you guys enjoyed, and see you guys next time.